Good morning, everyone. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. How are you guys? Hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. Last night, I got my t-shirt on. Welcome to the channel. Before we get started, make sure you give this video a thumbs up before you leave, before you go. And also, just let you know, you can subscribe to my channel. If you like what you see here, if you are a subscriber, welcome back. Welcome to my members. And we got to talk because last night I was just like flipping through the TV channels and I was like, it's like playoff season. So there's no Monday Night Football, which is pretty staple in my house because my husband's a huge football fan. And I end up on ABC and I'm like, oh, it's The Bachelor. I haven't watched this in a long time. I used to watch it pretty religiously. I haven't in quite a few years. But I followed the last season's tea in relation to Bachelorette Hannah Brown and the guy that she ends up picking at the very end, Jed, because Jed had literally left a girlfriend to go film The Bachelorette. And then, of course, Hannah Brown ends up picking him. He proposes to her. They split up at the end, or after she finds out that he had a girlfriend before he left. And his girlfriend was all over the tabloids basically saying that he went on the show because he wanted to further his music career and get more like exposure. He wasn't going there with the intentions of actually meeting someone and falling in love. And she was naturally heartbroken. So at the end of the season, Hannah and Jed, by the time everything airs, she and him are split up. She then asks Tyler, the second runner-up, to go out on a date. That doesn't end very well because he then later starts dating Gigi Hadid, or Hadid. I don't ever know how to say her last name. So Tyler's dating her now, but the third runner-up, Mr. Peter Weber, Mr. Pilot Man, he was added as the Bachelor, and it was announced at the season finale where they talked to all the cast members of the show that he would be the Bachelor. So when this season rolled out, he's young. He's actually one of the youngest bachelors. He's 28 years old. He's a pilot. He's done very well for himself. He's very emotional. He cries a lot. He has a good heart, it seems. The girls seem to really like him. So this show sort of starts out as normal, right? Like you've got all the ladies coming in and they're all bringing gifts to him. And he talks about, all the things he has hopes for the season. When he finally meets the girls, they start walking out of the limos. They bring him a lot of gifts. So there's people that, it's funny though, because one chick from his past shows up, this woman named Kelly, who he actually knew and he met at a bar and he had a flirty confrontation with. So someone he previously knew from his past shows up. A lot of other girls show up. It's pretty standard, typical Bachelor first night crap. But it all gets a little bit crazy because then Hannah Brown shows up as the limos are riding up. And she shows up to give him back some wings. So on her episode, Peter actually gave her on the first night a pair of wings because he said that he was looking for his co-pilot. So she showed up that evening, which is weird. Like, why are you showing up on the first night of filming? This is awkward, like, ew. And it's super emotional. They both practically start crying. You can tell there's a lot of, energy between the two of them still. Like, they still have feelings for each other. But she says that she wants to give him back his wings and wants him to find his person. And so she's super happy for him and excited for him, which then results in him coming back into the room practically in tears. Way to start your first night, Peter. Basically crying about Hannah and how he had this real relationship with her. And now he has to, he's going to find it. Because, yeah, we all find love on the rebound. We all know how that works. So the rest of the night goes off, with everyone, all the girls having drama. There's kissing, there's girls yelling at each other, there's people that are arguing about, they stole my time with Peter, and, it's all your basic first night crap stuff. And then there's some group dates that happen. I mean, all of this stuff is really irrelevant because what happens at the end is really what matters. But in the first group date, they have this obstacle course. This is actually interesting. And they have to there's a bunch of girls that are there. It's Hannah Ann, Kelly, Deandra, Tammy, Courtney, Cheyenne, Jasmine, and then 2 Victorias. They all go to the Marine Corps. They all meet, and then they meet a woman who is a Marine Corps pilot, Katie Cook, and Alyssa Johnson, and they host the women at this hangar where there's tons of planes and stuff, and they have to go through a gyroscope. They have to do an obstacle course, and at the very end, it comes down to Tammy and Kelly kind of like cheats and goes through the obstacle course, and she wins, and then she gets the special date with him, which pisses everyone off because Kelly cheated. And then that's when you learn that Kelly and him had a connection in the past and kind of like hooked up before, and they knew each other before. So this wasn't like a fair game for the rest of the girls, which then pissed off the rest of the girls. Of course, drama. And then there is a second group date, there's a second date, and so he goes on. He takes Kelly flying. They start kissing. Blah 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 blah. And then he gives a girl named Madison a one-on-one date, and he takes her back home to his parents' vow renewal, and then he meets some of she meets some of his family. He is the ordained minister that like helps his parents renew their vows. They dance, they sing, blah 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 blah. So at the very end, like seriously, you guys don't even care about this episode because everything is at the end. So at the very, very end, at the very, very end of the episode, Hannah shows up, okay? Again, yay! Why are you here for a second time? This is weird. They walk into, like, this theater, and Peter's like, well, I had a friend decide to put this event together, and I'm kind of nervous about it. I don't know what to expect. And then they walk into sort of this theater, and then on the stage, there's a windmill. Oh, yeah. The windmill where he and Hannah did it 4 times. Yeah, Hannah was like not shy about having sex on The Bachelorette, which go girl. Women empowered. I mean, the Bachelors all do it, so why not the Bachelorettes? I mean, they're all young, they're all beautiful. And she comes forward and all the girls are like, ugh, Hannah's here again? Why is she here again? This is so dumb. I think Hannah likes Peter. This is weird. And the girls are all like pissed off about it, like, but they're silent like that, and then they're smiling on the outside, like, hi Hannah, we're such big fans. And then Hannah comes to the stage and she's talking about how she wanted them to talk about like a first like sexual experience. She wanted them to be comfortable with it, so they had to like provide a story about their past and then present it. And then she basically goes into the story about this guy she went on a date with who she wasn't sure could keep up with her beast. And then she took him on a date into a windmill, and he proved her wrong first, and then a second time, and then a third time, and then in the morning. And so then she's like blushing, Peter's blushing, the girls are all like, and the girls are like, ew, like, it's one thing to have to compete with the girls, but then to have an ex-girlfriend here who he's done it with, ew, this is weird. So that results in Hannah like having an emotional breakdown. So Hannah basically like starts crying back by the windmill. Peter goes and gets her, and then this whole thing happens off stage, and she's like sobbing, like ugly girl crying. Like she can give Farrah Abraham like a run for her money for the ugly crying, because her mascara is literally all down her face. She's bawling her eyes out. She's telling Peter that she didn't expect to have all of these sparks. And they start like rehashing their relationship from when they were on The Bachelorette. And so, she's telling him that, this is really hard. She didn't really like expect to have all these feelings. And then she saw him and there was this big spark. And then he's like talking to her about how his heart sank when he saw her on the show Ask Tyler for a date, because he said that he told his parents that had she offered to give it another shot, he would have like taken it. And then she was like, well, Tyler reached out and then you didn't. It was like really weird. She would go from sobbing to like kind of manipulative. I get the sense that she's kind of a manipulator, but that's just me. I don't know Hannah from Daisy, but she seemed kind of manipulative in this part. So he asks her if she regrets picking, sending him home. And she says like she regrets everything. Like everything. and she's questioning herself, and that, she's telling him about how, she wished that she would have not picked Jed but Jed was so comfortable to her, an easy choice for her. And she like says that, she's like, I always told you that it would be you and Jed that meet my parents for the finals, where you go back to my hometown. And he's like, no, you didn't. And she's like, oh, wait, okay, I didn't? Okay, well, I just couldn't get over Jed. Like, it was so awkward. But during all of this exchange, like, he's getting emotional, she's bawling, and then he's just like, well, do you maybe want to just, I don't know why I'm doing this. Do you want to just join my season and come into the house? And she's like, well, maybe. I don't know. And it's like so dramatic. It's like, I can't even with these people. Like in one breath, she's like telling him that she likes him, and then in another breath, she's like making comments like, well, I just couldn't get over Jed. I broke everyone's heart. I don't know if I want to do this. And then in the next breath, she's like, I love you. I still have feelings. It's so awkward. It's so awkward. And, eventually at the end, he gets super emotional because she's being wishy-washy, because he doesn't get why she's telling him this. He's like, I don't understand what you want. Like, I don't get it. Poor Peter. He's already been through the ringer with Hannah one time, and now she's playing games with his heart again. Oh my God, cue the Backstreet Boys right now. And he's like, I can't help how my heart feels. I look at her and I just don't want to stop looking at her. I want to just kiss her and just like had all this work out, and I didn't, and I know it didn't. He also reminds Hannah that he doesn't want to be her third choice. Yeah, dude, have some self-respect. Why are you bawling with the chick that like dumped you, then picked the guy, got engaged, then after that happened, asked the second guy out on a date, had a one-night stand with him, or maybe not a one-night stand, who knows. And then now she's like, oh, well, it didn't work out with those two. Maybe it'll come back to maybe Peter. It just seems so, I don't know, I couldn't. I literally couldn't handle it. I was like, Hannah, don't be so cruel to him, you meanie. So on Twitter, obviously, she was tweeting about it. And she said, so that was not a blast at all. It was truly the hardest day, a day I had not been looking forward to reliving. But thank you to those of you who have been so sweet and supportive tonight. I just want to go hide under the windmill right now. Yeah, you should go hide. Go hide. Go crawl under the rock. Dig like a little bit lower, and then just like cover yourself up for a little bit, because you shouldn't have been playing with him. That was really cruel, Hannah. So then there's this like cliffhanger, like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Will Hannah join the house? What's gonna happen? And then all the girls are like, if you're gonna be with Hannah, you're just gonna leave. I'm gonna go. Because that's how the girls are, because, it's really, the success rates of these shows are extremely high. So we're left with this indication that apparently we are supposed to assume that Hannah joins the house, which is absolutely impossible, because if you watch Dancing with the Stars, Miss Hannah Brown actually won season 28 of Dancing with the Stars in November. Filming of Dancing with the Stars actually started on September 16th. The filming for The Bachelor, according to Wikipedia and everything I could find, began on September 23rd. And so unless Hannah could be in two places at once, where she's moving and grooving and doing rehearsals and then fighting and like bickering with the girls, I don't know how you can do two productions at the same time and be successful. So it's probably very unlikely that she stays, and it was more just like a bunch of much to do about nothing. Chris, the show's host, he said that people were actually shocked that they would bring back Hannah, because they thought it was like just not nice to the girls. And he said that this was an important person to bring back because he felt like the two of them had had no closure in their relationship, and so they needed to really get through these emotions and work through it and end it and have like closure so that he could move on. Maybe you should have closure in a relationship before you pick The Bachelor. I don't know. That's just me. Like, why are you going to pick someone that's hung up on Hannah? Oh. Now, for Peter's part, he actually said that before filming started, he told Access Hollywood that he believed that he was over Hannah. He didn't have feelings for her, and then he ultimately sees her and all the feelings come running back into his head. But that he genuinely had a relationship with her, yeah, sure you did, on The Bachelorette, and that these were real feelings and emotions, and he just had to work through it. So I can't wait to see how this is going to play out next week, because you know the girls are going to be all pissed off about this. They were all like at the door going like, oh my God, what are they talking about? Oh my God, Hannah, I can't believe you're doing this, Hannah. What is she saying? Oh my God, Hannah, ew, this is so gross, ew, you know. I mean, it's one thing to like it is one thing to have to compete with the girls that are like kissing him, but to like have to deal with the one that like did it in the windmill 3-4 times and talked about it and it was everywhere in the tabloids, that's a whole nother thing. So we'll see how this all plays down, but I am enjoying this season so far and I think it's going to be fun. This was a super fun stream for me to do. If you like more content like this, let me know. I'm trying to add more shows to my repertoire so that you guys don't get bored. So Hannah Brown and Peter Weber had a meltdown, and it's unlikely that Hannah Brown stays in the house because she was also filming Dancing with the Stars. So there you go, you guys. We'll be back in a little while with some more tea with my t-shirt in a few. Before you leave, make sure you hit the like button on the way out, and please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel by clicking it down here, and then turn the bell on for notifications so you know when I go live, and then check out all of my social media below and follow me on social media. All right, you guys.